Hi, my friend. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's Lisa Blaisdell. Gosh, I haven't been on camera and I'm like, wow, what do I do? So, happy Friday. I wanted to come on here. I'm a little bit late. I said I was going to go at 1, but I've had a little bit of a tech snafu. I swear to God, social media and I are just not getting along right now. Part of the reason I took a break, and I was going to do this in my stories. Hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Instagram. I was going to do this in my story, but I had a feeling I would probably go a little longer than a story warrants. So I thought I would go live. But I took a break from all social media and I'm still not back on Facebook. I may not go back on Facebook, to be honest, but I came back to Instagram because I really do love the connection that I have on Instagram and I love you guys and I missed you. But I wanted to just talk about some of the lessons that I learned of being off social media for a few minutes and just give you some context. So I am in a business that is driven by social media. So the fact that I went offline for a few days was a bit of a risk and I had to choose faith over fear. I do have an amazing assistant. She's fairly new to me, but she knows what she's doing. And she came in and she still connected with some of you and pretended to be me, and is still doing that on Facebook. So that really, really helps because I don't feel like I'm completely abandoning my team. But I needed a break. And if you know me personally, you know that I've had a lot of change in the last 6 months, really the last year. My life has really unraveled and has really been just a major transition and frankly, the hardest time of my life. The last almost year has been the hardest time of my life. And, most people in my position, they just delete their social media accounts because, the world doesn't really need to know some of your personal problems and it can be hard. It can just be really hard. But I love what I do and I'm growing a business and, I need to show up. It's a choice that I made. So just in the last few weeks, though, I just really felt an overwhelming sense to just really take a major step back. And hi, Les. I'm so glad you're here. And it was really, what was happening is that I felt like my perceptions of what I was supposed to be doing and what I want to be doing, what was feeling right to me was starting to get really cloudy. And I will just tell you that if you've gone through a separation and divorce, you probably know this, but if you haven't, you get really, really cloudy and life can feel very overwhelming, even though it's not necessarily like an ugly, terrible thing, because mine is absolutely not. It's very disorienting. I am very disoriented still, because my life that was so solid for so long is completely different. The whole infrastructure of your life changes. I moved, and I'm rebuilding a life. So you get very cloudy in your thinking. And, I was just finding it hard to figure out what was my voice, what do I want to do and what does everybody else want me to do? I'm also getting a lot of advice from people, right? Which is great. And I totally appreciate it. But it's you just need to be quiet and listen to yourself. And even though I have a ton of quiet time and that's built into my life, I just was feeling really, really cloudy. So I was also, I'll be just totally honest, judging myself a lot more, a ton of self-judgment, a ton of comparison, which social media is known for. And, most of the time I'm pretty good about it, but I think just because it's just been a really hard time, I couldn't get out of the comparison and everybody else's life looks amazing and perfect. And, mine looks like this, which it doesn't. But again, these were all of my perceptions. So I just decided to just go off, I'm going to just take a break. And honestly, that's a little risky, right? It's risky because I'm not in front of people. I'm not marketing myself. I'm not marketing my brand and my products. And, I'm letting my team down, all these things. But I just thought if I don't do this, I could really find myself in a dark place. It was starting to feel very dark and I just needed to protect my mental well-being. And I don't know if some of you that may be watching this know Dave Hollis. He's, a personal brand. He's a coach. He's an author. He's a podcast. He was married to Rachel Hollis, Girl, Go Wash Your Face. They're very popular, a very public divorce if you follow the personal development space. And, I really love Dave. He's a really good dad and a good guy. And I think he was really, really hurting, but he was very public through everything. And I think they divorced in 2020, very public through everything. And basically he just had like a month ago, he had a bit of a breakdown and he's off of everything. And even though I don't have nearly the following or nearly the audience that he does, I could kind of relate to how he was feeling. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to completely go off and just, go away forever. I just needed to take a little break. So what I learned over the last few days is that this platform, you could become addicted to. And I felt like I was an addict. I don't know what that's like because I'm not an addict and I've never gone through withdrawals, but I went through withdrawals. Like, you're going to feel weird and off, especially if you're used to being on this platform as much, especially like in stories. Like, I'm in stories all day long. I felt a little lost. I felt fidgety. I was like, what do I look at? Like, how many times a day can I check my email? Like, really, your brain does get addicted to the loop and to checking your social media accounts all the time. But on the other hand, I really lived my life like just present, much more present. I was in the present moment. I went for walks with friends, didn't take pictures for the sake of social media. I took 2 TikTok classes and I'm really diving into TikTok, although all my drafts just deleted and I'm very upset about that TikTok, but I'm going to recover. And I just really just am craving self-care. And I just have done a lot of it. I've done a lot of self-care. Met with my energy worker, had a great session, went to a group support meeting. I have a meeting with my coach in an hour. I just really am in a place where I just need a lot of self-care, a lot of journaling. And it just felt great. It really, really did feel good. But I missed Instagram. I missed my friends. I missed my stories. So I'm back. And so what I really have learned in the last few days is that I have to give myself more grace. And people have been telling me this for months. I need to give myself more grace. I need to stay in my lane. I am in a unique place in my life, and it's not the same as a lot of people that I work with and that I love and that, I look up to, and that are my friends and my mentors and my partners. I'm in a different place right now, and that's okay. I get to do things the way that I want to do them, right? So I'm going to stick to that. And I'm just going to be much more boundaried with my social media time. And I'm going to use my amazing assistant, Savannah. I think you were on here for a minute. My gosh, she saved my butt. She's so good. And I'm just going to really, use it more wisely, right? Just use it more wisely. And, just continue to lean into faith over fear as I navigate the next chapter of my life. And I want to just really, the reason I'm sharing this is I want to give you permission. I have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs, a lot of friends that, feel this, feel this tug to show up constantly. And I get it. And it can become a well-oiled machine, right? And there's a lot to love about this platform, but there's a lot that can really be detrimental as well. So I want to give you permission to, give yourself breaks and find the balance in it for yourself, because nothing's more important than your mental well-being and your peace and your serenity. And so I hope that my little snippet there, my little nap on social media encourages you to do something if you feel that you need to do it. I've never done anything like this before. I've never just not looked at the apps for years, since I've been on them, especially Facebook. I haven't been off Facebook for like 12 years. Even through EverVacation and everything, I never took a break. So that is my story. I missed you. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I'll be back in my stories talking about all the things I love and my life. I hope you have a fun weekend planned. I have a super fun weekend planned. I'm really excited about that. And I will be more balanced in my social media. So lots of love to you and have a great weekend.